Hey everyone. Have you ever wondered why your art isn't improving as fast as you'd like? As artists, we are constantly striving to improve. We're constantly striving to push ourselves to new heights and create work that truly resonates with others. But sometimes it can feel like we are plateauing, like we're stuck in a rut and don't know how to get out. That's where upgrading our art skills comes in, and it's essential for artists of all levels to continuously develop their craft. So, what's holding us back from taking our art to the next level? For many of us, it's a lack of inspiration. We feel like we're just going through the motions, creating the same old work without any real spark. Others may struggle with technique. We know that we want to create, but we just can't seem to get it right. And then there are those of us who are complete beginners, total noobs, unsure of where to start or how to even begin improving. So, whatever the struggle is, the feeling of being stuck can be overwhelming, and it's hard to know where to turn for help. I want to go deeper into that really quick. And I've mentioned this in many of my other videos, and I'm just going to keep doing it over and over and over again. You have to ask yourself, do you like the idea of being an artist, or do you actually like doing the art? Those are two polar opposites. Of course, if we're passionate about something, yes, we love the idea of being able to do it too. But that drive, that innate drive that makes us go towards a goal regardless if we have a headache, regardless if people ask us to go out at night for a party, doesn't matter. We want to do that thing, whether it's playing instruments, singing, playing the drums, you know, running, like training for running. How many of us have seen joggers and runners train in 99-degree weather on a humid July day? It's because they love doing it and they're going to do it regardless of the weather. So, feeling uninspired can be a real creativity killer. When we're not excited about our work, it shows. Our art suffers and we start to doubt our abilities. It's a vicious cycle, but one that can be broken with the right mindset and strategies. Lacking technique can be very frustrating, especially when we know what we want to create but can't quite get it right. It's easy to get discouraged and give up. But the truth is, technique can be learned and mastered with practice and patience. And for those of us who are just starting out, it's normal to feel overwhelmed. There's so much to learn, and it's hard to know where to start. So I'm going to say something that a lot of people, but a lot of you listening right now probably are not going to want to hear, but you need to hear it. And that is, when you started out drawing, you probably ignored feedback that would have helped you get out of the rut. Stubbornness is a killer when it comes to improving in anything. What happens is we learn how to do something at a young age, and we think that what we're doing is correct regardless of what people are saying. There is a difference between bullying someone and giving them constructive criticism. The constructive criticism is monumental in our own growth at art. Of course, anything out there that you want to get better at, but we as artists, I'm going to hold it to that subject. You have to take criticism correctly because what happens is when you start drawing at a young age and you ignore the fundamentals, you skip the cubes, cones, cylinders, and spheres, or you skip the proper techniques of shading and line weight and line quality, and above all, studying anatomy. And then you wonder why your characters look awful after you've been drawing for 10 or 15 years. You just can't seem to get it right. Sometimes you need to go back to the old drawing board. No pun intended, but that's literally what you have to do. So, how do we overcome these struggles and take our art to the next level? It all comes down to upgrading our skills, which is kind of what I just touched base on. I'm going to go over exactly how to do that in just 5 steps. These steps will help you overcome common struggles, stay inspired, and consistently produce work that you can be proud of. Along with that, I hope that you have a sketchbook out and you're doodling as I'm speaking because I want you to relax your mind. I want you to quit thinking about perfecting what you're putting on paper and enjoy what you're putting on paper. When we look at our artwork and we go, oh, this sucks, and you've only been drawing for 13 seconds, you are going to convince yourself that no matter what comes out of your brain and your hand, it's going to suck. And then lo and behold, you have a whole wasted sketchbook and then you don't draw for 10 days. It's a snowball effect. Okay. So let's get into it. The first step to upgrading your art skills is to set clear goals for yourself. What do you want to achieve? What kind of art do you want to create? Having a clear vision of what you want to accomplish will help you stay focused and motivated. So, one of the things that I teach in my mentorship is anybody that signs up, if, and by the way, if you want to sign up for my mentorship, please email me at bobbyrebholtz@gmail.com. We set clear goals, your short term goals, your long term goals, clients or companies that you like to work for and at, and everybody's goal is different. And I think this ties into what the step number one is all about. Okay, if you set clear goals like, I'm going to learn how to draw cubes, cones, cylinders, and spheres in 2 months. And they're going to be proportionally accurate. And I'm going to learn how to draw through the objects so that I can envision what I'm drawing in 3D, which is a very, very important skill to have. Because if you're a 2D artist, you're going to need to send your stuff off to the 3D department. So if you can imagine what you're drawing in 3D, or at least have a good understanding of it, you're going to explain this much better, have call outs, etc. But let's just say you've never drawn a cube before. If you can't draw a cube, what makes you think that you're going to be able to draw a skyscraper or something that like a product that's square shaped? Okay, you got to learn these fundamentals. I know, right? It sounds boring. But if you do it correctly, it's actually a very beautiful thing to learn how to properly sketch a cube, map the shadows, shade the cube so it looks very realistic. And then here you have a nice cube that is occupying a 3D space on your paper. It looks quite nice. The second step is to practice consistently. I know, right? You got to do it. The more you create, the better you'll get. It's simple, but it's true. So let me tell you a little story about myself and my obsession with drawing. And I'm going to talk about obsession in a minute. So, when I was a little boy and I started drawing, I realized that I had found my comfort zone when I picked up my pencil. I was 4 years old. And at that time, I was living in the golden age of horror movies. Okay, so I was born in 1980. I'm in my 40s now. But in the 80s, it was the golden age of scary movies. It was the golden age of dinosaur shows and movies going that next step. Now, Jurassic Park hadn't come out yet, but we were looking at like Phil Tippett's claymation movie, all kinds of things. And I started drawing creatures and monsters, and I realized that if I just drew this every day, I would start improving, and I did. And of course, I had family members and friends telling me that I was good, but you're not really going to progress unless you ask an outside person that doesn't know you or doesn't love you to give you the good feedback, the feedback you need to grow and improve. Okay, so while I was drawing, I probably dedicated about an hour or two a day. Now, those of us that have the privilege of drawing for a living, yeah, you're going to progress much farther. And if you're not old enough to go to college, where the majors have you draw in studio, multiple hours in a day, it's up to you. It's up to your discipline. And this is why setting goals is so important. It doesn't have to be rigid. It could just be a reminder you set in your phone. Hey, doodle ellipses for 20 minutes a day, or draw trees, rocks, and roots for 2 hours this weekend. So you have 2 full days to do that. I always like suggesting beginners to sketch trees, rocks, and roots, preferably from real life. So if you can, weather permitting, of course, but if you can go to your local park, if you have woods behind you, or somewhere where there's trees, rocks, and roots, it covers organics. The rocks can cover hard surface and organics together, and the roots offer really good observation skill building because a lot of times roots are twisty, they're turny, they intertwine with the dirt and the ground. You can learn a lot by drawing those three things. Okay, the third step is to learn from others. Study the work of artists you admire, take classes or workshops, and learn from others in your community. So, this is why the internet is so powerful now. You can join forums, you can join discords, you can join uh, other types of like Facebook groups and sketch groups, local communities, or I'm sorry, like local art groups within your community that you live in, so you can meet them face to face, and figure study classes. There's so many things, and the internet can just help you find all of it without leaving your seat. It's great. The fourth step is to experiment and try new things. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and try new techniques in media. So, something that I've been doing recently is experimenting with different markers. And I've been lucky enough to have brands reach out to me and I can try these markers and they'll send them to me. And it's really cool because I get to experiment with media that I can't find in a store necessarily. But if you can go to your local art store and pick up some charcoal sticks or pick up some different types of pencils than you're used to using. Like for me, I use graphite. I haven't used a mechanical pencil in years, so maybe I'll try that for a little bit and see what happens. Or maybe I'll try a new kind of liquid gel pen, um, acrylic pencils, watercolor pencils. Can't remember the last time I've used that. I just gave myself an idea. I think I'll do that. So the fifth step is to get feedback from others. Join a community of artists, share your work, and ask for constructive criticism. So this is something that I mentioned before, but it's tying everything together. We as artists are stubborn. We have to grow out of that stubbornness if we want to improve. One of the most powerful insights I've gained from upgrading my own art skills is the importance of embracing failure. So often, we're afraid to try new things because we're afraid of failing. But the truth is, failure is a natural part of the learning process. Every time we fail, we learn something new, and we can use that knowledge to improve and grow. It's liberating to realize that failure isn't the end, it's just a stepping stone to success. So let's recap the 5 steps to upgrading your art skills. Set clear goals, practice consistently, learn from others, experiment and try new things, and get feedback from others. These steps are very simple, but they're powerful and they can help you take your art to the next level. Thanks for joining me on this journey to upgrading your art skills in just 5 easy steps. I hope you found it helpful, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What was your favorite step? Have you tried upgrading your art skills before? Share your experiences, and don't forget to check out other videos on the related art topics. The other things that I want to mention are if you feel kind of lost and you don't know what community to join, I have that covered for you. Our Creature Design Workshop Discord is a bustling community that's growing every day. We have new members sharing their studio picks, their daily scribbles and their doodles, asking for feedback. We have figure studies. We have a very strong, like-minded community where everybody just wants to improve. Check the links in the description below for that and also my Creature Design Workshop. In the Creature Design Workshop, which I hold every month, I give you the bare essentials of starting your journey in creature design from scratch. There's no skill level required. Whether you are drawing stick figures or you're an industry veteran, if you just want to brush up on the skills that you may have lost over time, I got that covered for you too. So check out the links in the description below. You can sign up before the start of the next month. So it is the end of August right now. So if you want to sign up for September, you still have some days left to do it. And then I do want to mention that I run a private mentorship as well. Now, my private mentorship is more in depth and intensive, and it's different than the creature design workshop because it's more for you improving your art skills in general. Not only your art skills, but also your marketing, your portfolio building, and above all, just becoming an overall better, well rounded artist. Because whether you're treating it as a hobby or a future employable skill, we will talk about your short term goals, your long term goals, and places that you would like to work for, or clients that you would like to work for, places you would like to be at, etc. Thank you all for watching me doodle this sketch and talking about getting better in 5 simple steps. Hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell, and guess what? I'll see y'all later. Peace.